Hey friends, thank you for clicking on this video. I wanted to begin the video by first asking a few questions to hopefully connect us in a little bit deeper to the topic. So, first question, have you ever went through or experienced something that led you to feel like you were stuck? My second question is, have you ever felt like you were just failing miserably at life? And then my third question, have you ever found yourself consistently in fight or flight mode? And if you can relate to being in any of those situations, I know that you can probably relate to the phrase of if it's not one thing, it's definitely another. And you're like constantly going around trying to put out fires and things of that nature. It doesn't feel good, right? So you may or may not be able to relate to that, but I know that the times that we're living in from a societal perspective, it's just filled with a lot of things that make you feel uneasy. They don't make you feel comfortable. There's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of societal pressures. There's a lot of trauma that I feel like a lot of people are dealing with. And I know that we're still in the midst of a mental health crisis, and all of those things may be a reason why, we find ourselves feeling stuck at any given time. And when we're stuck, we're not able to move forward and tackle life the way that maybe we envision. So it's definitely important to like move from that place. I know we would all agree. So I guess to introduce myself, my name is Shanika. And while I certainly don't have the answers to all of those questions, or even maybe the certifications or experience to, address all the things, I do feel like I have an abundance of love. And I think that because I can relate to a lot of the situations found in those questions I asked, things like that increase your capacity to love when you go through it, you process it, and you understand, you know, what happened or just how to move forward. So I also know that when you're going through situations like that, it can make you feel very lonely. It can make you feel very unloved and that no one cares about you. So, if nothing else from this video, I just wanted it to serve as some encouragement. I want you to know that you are very loved, that you do matter, and that you're going to make it if you don't give up. So, please keep going. Don't let a situation that makes you feel like you're stuck keep you in a state where you feel like no one cares and that you don't matter. Always remember that you're not alone. Many of us can relate to lifing, right? There's probably, I mean, we've all collectively been through a lot of things, and that triggers those feelings of being stuck, right? And it could be anything like death, grief, natural disasters, financial issues, family issues, a lot of things. Sometimes grief, because I know I mentioned death, sometimes grief is not even maybe someone physically dying, but just the grief of us not getting to experience something that we envisioned that we would. Like, the grief of not being able to go after a particular dream or process something that we wanted to do can leave us stuck or just sad at the very least. There's always something going on in the world, which is definitely a topic for another video, right? Because it's important to focus on the things that are within our control. So, but the point is, I think that we all are connected and we can relate to being a tad disconnected or just going along to get along, whether we want to share it outwardly or not. But I do think that when we're honest with ourselves, when we take the mask off, we can see and process things so much clearer. So it's always important to not just be honest with everybody else, but to be honest with yourself first. Because just like when we're getting physically sick, like with symptoms showing from a common cold. You usually get like maybe a sneeze or a cough, right? But our body can manifest, signs of things that are going on with us emotionally and mentally. It can come out physically. And I think that sometimes we are given the impression that we have to keep going, that it's still not appropriate to talk about those kind of things that we're experiencing. But I just want to let you know it's normal, and that discomfort is there for a reason, like the gas gauge in the car, like the check engine light. If you don't make any kind of attempt to check into those indicators, the car is not going to work too much longer, and that's the same for ourselves, right? So I think I say that to say that we have to express ourselves. We can't suppress these things that continue to hurt us or allows us to, feel uncomfortable for too long. Growth is uncomfortable, but when we know that there's something else going on deeper, we should reach out or just find an outlet, a healthy outlet that can help us process and cope with some of those feelings. Like, maybe some things, like for me, example, meditation, prayer, getting outside in nature, going to the gym and working out. Those are all things that you can, do to help yourself feel better. I also like art, whether it's writing, reading, drawing, journaling. Journaling has heavily helped me in the last couple of years to process a lot of the things that I had going on, some very heavy issues. But I did want to share a kind of a quote from an author of one of the books that I'm reading. And this was actually a book that was recommended to me when I was in a counseling session early last year. But the name of the book is The Body Keeps Score, and it's written by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. And I saw a video recently of the author stating that trauma is not the event that happens, it's how you respond to it. And a mitigating factor is who is there for you at the time. So because I love words, I wanted to add that the American Psychological Association defines trauma as an emotional response to a terrible event like an accident, a crime, or a natural disaster. And they made another note here that states that reactions such as shock or denial are typical. And when we experience shock or denial, those are definitely some things that can lead us to feel like we're stuck if we allow it. So again, we have to be able to normalize maybe some of those feelings and turn to healthy outlets, each other, whatever it is, to express ourselves and cope. So along with my enjoyment of reading and writing and words, I really love meaningful connections. I think we are better together. We are needed, we are necessary to converse, to love on each other, to encourage each other, to push each other forward in our journeys. And I think that some really beautiful and brilliant things happen when we're vulnerable and genuine, and we just go with the flow of life. You let the experience do what the experience is supposed to do. It teaches you a lot of things. But that led me to another book I'm reading, which is called The Power of Empathy, and it's written by Michael Tennant. And in the dedication to this book, the author writes, "We all seek safety, freedom, connection, and happiness. We also compete against our deepest desires in subtle ways without ever knowing. Awaken to the agony of our condition. Awaken to the bounty and abundance of the world." And I love that because it reminded me of each of the times where I felt that, I was becoming unstuck. I can remember feeling, just deep appreciation for, that awareness, and for being able to see the world in such a vivid and vibrant way, you know, after kind of coming back to myself. I had to learn to embrace a lot of things about myself through a lot of the situations that I went through. But I think that again, it ultimately helped me to connect better with people, connect definitely better with myself. And, you know, I just always want the best for everybody, no matter where they are. Because I think that we have so much potential as a people. There's so much that we could do in life, and I want to be a part of creating those safe and authentic spaces for us to work through the things that we need to work through so that we can be the best that we can be. So I invite you to come with me on that journey. Let's be lifelong learners together. Let's learn, grow, heal. Let's do all the things that's going to help us to be the best and healthiest version of ourselves. So thanks for listening. Please, as they say, like, subscribe, watch future videos. Please comment if there is anything that, you know, maybe resonated with you. I'll put some information in the description, but please feel free to connect with me on, you know, other social media platforms. I'm just looking forward to how this evolves. So thank you for listening to me today.